What's up, everybody? This is Victory here again with another Princess Connect video. Today we're going to be going over Arena, and I'm going to show you why you should probably have a different Arena team than your farming and campaign clearing team. So you can see my campaign clearing team right here. It works great. I'm progressing really well with it. And yet, I'm fighting someone who's 10 levels below me and getting wrecked. Ugh. Too little, too late. I am so sorry, girls. Just pitiful. So, what we're going to do in this video is break down why that team is such an epic fail and what you can do with your Arena team to give you some better success if you are experiencing fails like the one you just saw for me. And you can see in my damage report, probably you can start to figure out what the issue is here, just looking at the damage my units are doing, right? The issue that I find with campaign teams, and we'll dig into this here, is campaign teams just don't do a lot of damage compared to a PvP team because you want to have a lot of sustain to get through all of the waves of enemies and everything. So the units I use on my campaign team, Suzuna, is my main damage dealer, and she has the guaranteed critical on her Union Burst, which does really about twice as much damage as it says on the card there. A lot of damage. She's got this meanie missile, which again is a guaranteed critical, so it's going to be doing more than it says it will. So again, a lot of damage there. And then when we look at her third skill here, it's an attack boost that she can give herself throughout the battle. So she's really good at doing single target damage, which is great in campaign because if you kill a monster, then you cut off damage that's coming in at you. That's good in Arena as well. Kokoro is another member of my campaign team, and she has some useful skills. You'll notice I use a lot of starters and low rarity units in my campaign team, but Kokoro can heal herself and then buff the team's attack and magic attack. Which of course is always just really useful, especially in campaign where she's taking more hits from the midline. She's got a tri-slash which does some damage, and then this action speed and attack boost for all our allies, which is great. Pekarine's my tank because I have nobody better. She has a defense buff for herself. It also does damage, but mostly it's a defense buff. She's got her self heal, which also gives her a little bit more magic defense, and then she has a little bit of extra damage. Not a big deal. Pekarine's pretty simple. Yukari, another member of my campaign team, she has the magic barrier. And one thing that's great about the magic barrier is it will also block effects if it blocks all the damage, like charm, poison, which is really, really useful, especially against certain bosses in campaign and dungeon. Can be useful in Arena as well. But then her second skill is another HP recovery, a big one for a single ally, and then TP recovery, which is of course great in every situation with her third skill. Then Yui is the final member of my campaign team with a group heal, some magic damage, and then her third skill is a small defense buff for everybody. Okay, so you probably are hearing the word heal a lot in my campaign team. And this is what I am going to say is the problem with your campaign team as an Arena team is, like I said, in campaign, you have to have sustain because you're going through 3 waves of monsters. You can kind of control how much damage is coming in through a little bit of positioning and just knowing what monsters are in the level that you're facing. And so having sustain through multiple heals, having, the buffs and everything, you get a prolonged benefit out of all of that, and you don't need really more than one main damage dealer in your campaign team, or at least that's how I've been playing it, and I've been having pretty good success with that team. I actually don't use any of my 3-star units that I pulled. I have 2 of them. I don't use them in my campaign team because it just works better with the 1s and 2 stars that I have in there. Like I said, they have a lot of sustain. Suzuna does great single target damage, and then they have buffs and things so that they can get through all 3 waves pretty safely and get those 3-star clears. But the Arena is a lot different. and I use both of my 3 stars in Arena because they fill different roles. You know, like I talked about in my last video, this is a game that's a lot about strategizing for the situation in your team building. And so my Arena team uses a couple of the same units just because I don't have a lot of resources that I can spare right now raising units. So I use a couple of the same ones, but the overall strategy of the team and how it performs is totally different. In Arena, you know, you're only fighting one wave, and you're not fighting monsters who do the same attack over and over. You're fighting other characters who have abilities, who have the union bursts, and so there's more of kind of a kill or be killed mentality in Arena, where a win's a win even if you win with your last unit. And so the units that you want to use are a lot different, and your strategy is a lot different. And we're going to get into Arena right now and just talk about some of those things. So Arena, you get these Arena coins, and you can see your match histories. Mine is really fantastic, as you can see here, but I just made this new team today to demonstrate to you. You know, and you can see your defense and set it up different ways. A lot of people say to have a different defense than your offense, which I guess is something I'll get to eventually. You have 3 opponents you can choose from, and you can refresh those opponents. I don't usually do that, but you can if you want, if you don't see any good matchups. Then you can also see the rankings for your Arena bracket. And it goes quite a ways down, but you can kind of see who's at the top of your bracket, as well as where you stand, team powers, levels, everything. One thing to note about the brackets is you are placed in a bracket with people who got to the Battle Arena feature about the same time you did. So if you remember, when you unlocked Battle Arena at a certain point in the campaign, you're going to be placed in a bracket with other people who unlocked it close to when you unlocked it. And just placing in Arena has a lot of rewards. You get daily rewards based on where you're currently at. Then you get one-time rewards based on your best rank and your all-time best rank. Mine is 9,000 and something. One final feature about the Arena is, you know, you get 5 attempts a day. A lot of people recommend that you do your Arena battles at the end of the day so that you've made your team as strong as possible for that day before you do your challenges. I think that's generally pretty good advice, although, you know, let's say you get down to where you've done all your recharges, you don't have a lot of stamina left, and you're just waiting on your 100 stamina, I would go ahead and do Arena at that point. One thing you can do is you can refresh how many Arena attempts you get by using jewels, but I really don't recommend that as a mere mortal because you're just not gonna get a lot of value out of that unless you know you can get to rank 1. There is an Arena shop, and this is where those Arena coins that you can get every day come in handy. You can see it, you can get shards and you can get equipment. I would really recommend just focusing on the shards, particularly, and this kind of depends on where you want to go with your units, but Tamaki, Monica, and Reno are all very good to get with those shards. So now we're going to see my Arena team and how it performs and what you can kind of take from that as ways to improve your own team for Arena. So you can see here, I got some opponents here a little bit closer to me. They're not 10 levels under me now. And I have a totally different team here, which uses a couple of 3-star units. Let's see how it does. We got Nino and Saren in the middle there. And the whole point of this team is to get Nino charged up with Saren. And here comes a fireball. And kaboom! Huge area damage to the whole team. And you can see, you know, yeah, I'm still taking a lot of damage. But now, here comes the other one, the Union Burst. And now we have a cleave. That's right. It's a cleave team. So, how does this team work? We're going to show you here in just a minute. You can see the damage. You know, she just does insane amounts of damage with that fireball. Saren does great damage too with her AoE cleave. She's going to charge up TP. And you notice that there is a literal talking llama on the front line of this team. Instead of having any healers, I have 2 tanks up in front. What is going on with this team here? Well, here's what's going on. So first of all, Ninon is my main damage dealer. You saw her Union Burst here, which does a bunch of fire physical damage to enemies that are in range of it. The idea with this team is to get as many enemies as possible in range, charge up her TP, and let her use that right away. And she has this thing here where if she kills somebody with it, she can get TP from it to get that fireball faster, and then a nice little knockback attack. So she's just pure straight up damage. She's got AoE. Saren is kind of the enabler for Ninon, where, you know, she also has an AoE attack, so she goes well there. She's got a smaller AoE attack, and then this is where she can restore Ninon's TP so that she can use her fireball faster, which, as you saw, she used it right before she died, and Saren allowed her to do that. I still do use Suzuna in this team. Again, she's just got a really good damaging kit. And if she's in the back line, she can still just take somebody out in one shot with her Union Burst to end the fight. Then the other two units on the team, of course, you've got Priconne and then Lima are sitting in front. And why do I use them? Well, Priconne, again, I just don't really have any tanks other than Priconne, so I just want her to stand there and take as many hits as possible with her self-heal and her defense buff. You know, if she can get a couple hits in and soften them up, great. Lima has a very specific purpose in this team. So the second skill where she charges in a little bit late to the battle, that's the key to why we're using Lima in this team, because she's going to charge in, and her charge kind of groups the enemy around her, which puts them all in range of the fireball. I don't actually have her ranked up yet, but you saw her last skill there was a stun. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Love to hear comments about what videos you'd like to see next, and have a great day.